All right. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome back to Peace Week. We are so thrilled that you are here, and thank you so much, everyone who's been here all morning long, all afternoon. We are focusing our beautiful day on bringing the legacy of the beautiful Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s message of hope for all living beings to live in beautiful harmony and to live in this beautiful oneness and unity. So we have an incredible guest who is a dear friend of mine who has been such an inspiration, such a mentor to me. And just watching her step into her power and seeing her really be a voice for the animals has given me more of my own voice. And I hope that she'll inspire you today. I want to share just a little bit about her. While I'm sharing about her, can you guys do me a favor and just let me know where you're watching from? And also, if you could share this broadcast, I've been put in Facebook jail again. So can you believe that, Mindy? I get put in Facebook.
I know all about that.
I get put in there all the time. And if you guys could share this out, I would be so, so grateful. We're going to share it out as much as we can with our people. And if you could share it out and let people know that we are live, that would be really, really great and helpful. I'm going to share a little bit about beautiful Mindi Callison, and I'm going to share a lot about Bailing Out Benji, which is an incredible organization. So type in the chat where you're watching from, you guys. And as you start typing in and bringing people in, which is an incredible, bringing people in, you can start sharing this out on your timeline, share it into the groups. Hello, Robert Dosa. Hello, Jennifer Robin Russell. Hello, welcome. Thank you for sharing. All right, here we go. So yes, Mindy's here from Ames. This is so cool. So, all right, I'm going to share a little bit about this wonderful organization. And 21-year-old Mindi Callison chose the third option when she thought about what she could do when injustices were happening in the world. What I absolutely love. Hi, Stephanie Davis. Welcome from Tennessee. Thank you. In British Columbia. We are a global family here, aren't we? Thanks, you guys, so much for sharing this out. So one of my favorite quotes is Nelson Mandela, and this beautiful quote that Mindi has on her website. And you guys can go to bailingoutbenji.com and check out all the wonderful things that are happening for the animals. So education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So when you learn about the injustices happening, Kathy Watson, I hope you're listening, because she's helping with this in another country. She's helping with this in Australia and New Zealand. So this is wonderful. You're going to love Mindi. She's such an inspiration. Hi, Geraldine. Thanks for being here from Florida. So when you learn about injustices happening around you, what do? Do you turn a blind eye and try not to think about it? Or do you expect someone else to deal with it? Or do you stand up for what is right and fight for what is just? 21-year-old Mindi Callison chose the third option. In 2011, Mindi learned about the rampant commercial dog breeding in her home state of Iowa. She learned about the horrible conditions that these dogs lived in and that they lacked human interaction and proper vet care. They were caged 24 hours, 7 days a week, and they were kept outside with little protection from the heat and cold and snow and rain. They were bred until they could no longer provide a profit to their owners, and then they are thrown away like trash. To make matters worse, Mindi discovered that a pet store in her hometown was selling puppies from these breeders. She was outraged by this, and she had to take action. Because of this, Bailing Out Benji was born. Isn't that awesome? Thank you for being here from New Jersey. Welcome. Carol, thank you for being here. Yes, please share this out. Bailing Out Benji is a small nonprofit organization that is dedicated to changing the world for our companion animals by educating and raising social consciousness about various animal welfare issues, specifically puppy mills. So we tend to work tirelessly to educate about the puppy mill problem across the United States by inspiring advocates to make change in their own communities. So this website and these articles have been viewed over 700,000 times from people just like you who wanted to know more about puppy mills. So this is so beautiful, Mindi. I am so honored and so grateful for you to really listen to your heart and really step up and say, I am not going to accept that kind of treatment for animals. Have you always been an animal lover?
Yeah, I've always been an animal lover, but I haven't always been as outspoken about that. My sister and I, when we were younger, would find stray cats and we would bring them home all the time. My mom thought that we would find them homes, but for the most part, they just stayed with us. We were just always trying to help, and we didn't really know. We didn't have the education behind it because we were like 10 and 11, but we just knew that we had to help these animals. And so, yes, when I was younger, it was all about the cats.
And this is not a full, this is a full-time job for you, but you also have a full-time job, right?
Yeah. So,
amazing. You are amazing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm a preschool teacher during the day. I teach, anywhere between 2 and 4-year-olds, depending on the year. And then right now, on my nights and weekends and days off, I get to educate about puppy mills.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Mindi, can you just help our audience to understand exactly what a puppy mill is? And we are pretty well educated, so there's a lot of people here. But welcome everybody. Anyway, welcome everybody to Spirituality Gone Wild. This is a channel that is using this platform to be a voice for the voiceless, especially for the voiceless animals. And puppy mills are a serious problem that we have on our planet. And it's really important that we start to be educated. Just like Mindi said, we need to be educated in order to really stop these injustices. And I'd love for you to, just maybe share a little bit about how that works and what exactly is a puppy mill.
So a puppy mill is a breeder who is putting the profit over the welfare of the animals. Yes. So you will have puppy mills who are breeding their females every single heat cycle. They are breeding puppies. My own dog, we rescued her at 18 months old, and she had already had 3 litters of puppies. So this was a toddler, a baby, still having puppies, or already having puppies. And through Bailing Out Benji, in 2017, we rescued over 300 adult breeding dogs from these puppy mills, and so many of them were seniors. And they were dogs that were at the age that we would consider our great-grandparents. Yeah. And so 15 and 16-year-old dogs are still being bred in these cages, and they've never known a family. They have literally lived in a wire crate their entire lives until we showed up and saved them. Yes. And so there are reputable breeders out there who care about their animals. They're the ones who have 1 or 2 adult dogs, and they're their pets, and they love them. And they're the ones who are helping us fight the puppy mills. Reputable breeders are also really good at breed-specific rescue. So if there's an Afghan hound in a puppy mill, I have a friend who would go and save that dog because that's her breed. It's the breed that she loves.
So, and puppy mills, you say, also have to do with pet stores, certain pet stores. And tell us a little bit about that, because I know we have that issue here in California too.
So when you walk into a pet store and you see puppies for sale, those puppies are coming from puppy mills. Oh, my husband's home.
Here's your puppies!
So pet stores are buying from these puppy mills because the good breeders, the reputable breeders, won't sell to them. They want to know the adults or the families that's going to be buying the puppies. And so when you walk into a pet store, and if you've been into a pet land or something similar, there is a wall with just aquariums full of dogs just behind glass walls. And these puppies have also been taken away from their moms so young. And so they have their own behavior issues. And then they also have the genetic issues that come with it. So California specifically just passed a statewide ban against the sale of puppies and kitties in pet stores. That won't go into effect until 2019. So for this whole year, pet stores are still allowed to buy from puppy mills. And those puppy mills are here in Iowa and in Missouri. So these puppies are traveling 24, 26, 30 hours in the back of a semi just to get to a pet store where they're treated like books on a shelf. They're not those little fluffy heartbeats that we know and love. It's property. It's a book on a shelf that the pet store owner supplies.
And it's all about greed, right?
It is.
I mean, it's all about greed. This is why the puppy mills are successful. Yeah. And why they are financially successful. Of course, they're not successful, but they are. It's about the greed that's happening.
It is. And like you mentioned, when I found out that the pet store down the road was buying puppies from puppy mills, I asked him flat out, like, what breeders do you use? And he told me, and the pet store is Divig's Pet Shop. And so I was able to go and visit one of the puppy mills, and they had over 400 adult breeding dogs. So I ran back to the pet store, and I told the owner what I saw, and he completely dismissed me. I was a silly 21-year-old girl. He actually called me a silly little girl. And he just said that he'd been using these breeders for 30 years, and he wasn't going to change. Wow. And so I'm an introvert. I'm very quiet and soft-spoken, but I knew I had to do something. And so right then and there, we decided to start protesting that pet store peacefully. And after getting all of the right paperwork, we made sure we were okay with the city and the police were okay with what we were doing. And then we had all of our facts on hand, and we started protesting in 2011 every single Saturday and Sunday, no matter what the weather. And so you've been following our page and our, passion forever. And you've seen that within the last few months, the pet store closed.
Yes.
He finally went out of business because of our protests and because of just everybody in our community supporting rescue. His puppies were selling more slowly and more slowly because it's supply and demand. Right. So when, again, let's say there are books on a shelf, you walk into your bookstore and there's a book that's not selling, the bookstore isn't going to order more of that. So then the company selling the books needs to supply less of that. And it's just like that with these puppies. So everybody wants to know if these puppies get homes, and they do, because what happens is, say they're on sale for $1,000 and 20 people walk by and they don't buy the puppies and they don't buy the puppies. They start going on sale and going on sale and going on sale. And finally, somebody else who doesn't know about puppy mills or wants to save the dog or has their own reason, they buy that puppy. But again, it shows the pet store that the demand for puppies has gone away, so they order fewer. And when our protest started, the 2 puppy mills that Divig's Pet Shop used had over 400 adult breeding dogs each. And then by the time our protest ended, each breeder had over 150 adult breeding dogs. So not only were we successful in educating about the pet store and getting him to stop selling puppies, and he sold to a humane pet store, but those puppy mills lost their outlet. They lost that pipeline to the public, and so they both downsized from over 400 to just over 150 each. And that's huge. And we're seeing that across the country. More and more of the worst puppy mills are downsizing, and they're closing out of, going out of business because people are learning, and they're learning to walk away from that pet store puppy, and they're learning to adopt.
Right. Hashtag adopt, don't shop.
Exactly. And our tagline is order pizzas, not puppies.
Yes.
Because now that more people are learning about pet stores, they're going online. And if you were to Google right now, Siberian Huskies for sale in your state, Siberian Huskies for sale in Iowa, you would see puppy mills popping up. The reputable breeders aren't going to rank high enough on Google if they even have a website. So you get people who are in love with a dog because they saw it on a movie or saw it walking by their window, and they just Google it because that's our generation now. Everybody Googles everything. which is why our website is there. So when people are Googling, looking for puppies, our website has a list of a lot of the worst breeders in the country. And so then you can easily, if you're doing your research, you can see a lot of those violations, and you should see enough to know not to order a puppy, because it's not a pizza. You don't get to pick the color and pick the size, and it's not something you're supposed to special order. It should be a well thought out plan with your family, whether or not you're adopting or buying. This is a family plan that you should be thinking about for the next 20 years, because dogs last forever. They live to be 20 years old. And then
yeah,
I know, it's not long enough. But you have people who buy those puppies, and in a few months they get rid of them at the shelter or rescue because they're not potty trained or because they're too hyper. And so, just a lot of education goes into making sure you're making a forever commitment, and it's the right commitment for you.
Amazing, Mindi. So we have an incredibly wonderful community of loving, beautiful souls in this community here on Spirituality Gone Wild. What can we do to be supportive and to help with to end this cycle?
So, like you've said, a bunch of times so far, sharing things. If you're sharing this link with people talking about what a puppy mill is, a lot of people don't even know that puppy mills are licensed and legal facilities.
This is what I mean. That was when I first met you and I first heard about puppy mills, I was just so mortified. I was like, what can I do? How can I help? What can I do? And honestly, I was like, because I just couldn't believe that in this day and age that anyone would do something like that. It just blew my mind. And then when I got to get to know you a little bit better and got to see the work that you were doing in the world, I just had to do everything I could to support it. So I'm so grateful for you.
Well, I'm grateful for you too, and for giving the dogs the voice that you have, because you've written several books about, dogs and rescuing dogs. And I've been lucky enough to be included in, a book of yours. But yeah, so just if you're somebody who wants all of them.
I include you in everything because I love what you're doing. And I really feel that if I can, in any way, shape or form, support what and bring more awareness to the puppy mill situation. And you said about black dogs too. That was another thing. Can you go a little bit into that also?
So, Bailing Out Benji isn't a rescue, but we've been able to rescue a lot of dogs from puppy mills with the help of our rescue partners. My husband and I personally, we save black dogs, specifically black lab mixes, because if you walk into a shelter specifically, usually they're a little more depressing than like a rescue would be. But a lot of people overlook the black animals, whether it's a black cat or a black dog. And it's, for various reasons. When they bark, you can see their teeth, and so they look more scary, or they're hard to photograph. I mean, I've heard the craziest thing. They're harder to photograph because they're black. And so if they're sitting on a dark couch, it might not show up as well. And so, yeah, one of the things my husband and I have committed to is rescuing senior black dogs. Yeah. In the past 6 years, we've had 15 come through our house. Various breeds, but mainly black lab mixes. And we've fostered, we've done hospice care, and then we've also adopted some dogs out through rescues.
Oh my gosh, I love black labs. That was my lucky girl. My lucky girl was a black lab. Yeah. I had her for 18 years and 2 months. And she was a rescue from the, not from a puppy mill, but she was a rescue from the animal rescue, animal shelter. So honestly, we have a couple of questions here. I want to just kind of go into those, and then I'm going to open the lines so anybody can type into the chat if you have a question for Mindi. The question that Barbara Taylor says, and they are unregulated, is that correct?
So puppy mills, for the most part, are USDA licensed and inspected. So these dogs in puppy mills aren't illegal. The USDA inspectors are seeing them every 2 to 3 years, depending on how bad the facility is.
This puppy mill that had 400 dogs, that was allowed?
Yes, that's how I was actually able to see how many dogs were on the property. I could go to the USDA website and I could check the breeder's address, name, all of it, and I could see all of their inspection reports. So I could go back years and years and see all the violations, which also included using expired medications on dogs.
Wow.
And so that's the other side of what we do. If you were to go to our website, bailingoutbenji.com,
I'm going to go there right now, and you can walk us through. You tell me where to go, because I'm going to go right here.
Across the top, there's a link that says puppy mills by state.
Okay.
And on that link, you can see we have almost 30 states done, but it's a bunch of puppy mill maps.
Okay, it says where pet store puppies come from.
Yes,
so that you can pick.
Yep, you can click on that too.
Okay.
So we have all of our puppy mill maps on our website. So if you're in Iowa or Missouri, or what other state have we done? South Dakota, Minnesota. We've done quite a few. So if you just click right on puppy mills by state up top, if you just click on that, yep. And then you can scroll down, you can see all of the puppy mill maps that we've done. And we are going to release another one tonight once you and I are done chatting. But it's kind of neat because that right there is breaking down how many adult breeding dogs are on each horrible 100 facility. But yeah, so this has been instrumental in educating the public. So when you scroll down further and you see the different maps we've done, those maps have been viewed over 2 million times on Facebook. So if we post, Arizona doesn't have many, they have more pet stores. So if I post that, people in Arizona are like, oh, what pet stores are selling puppies from puppy mills?
Look at Arkansas.
Arkansas, yep. And you might be living in Arkansas and you might know that there are some puppy mills, but when you see this map, you can see that they're in your backyard. And it's really shocking to people. So if you want to really shock our audience, you can scroll down to Missouri. Missouri has over 800.
Colorado too. Look at Colorado.
Yep.
You wouldn't think, I wouldn't think Colorado.
Nope. And Florida
Florida.
They're a pet store state. So all those dark blue dots are pet stores selling puppy mill dogs.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so when we release these new maps on our Facebook page, Georgia's another bad one. You can see the light bulb hit for so many people because I learned about puppy mills for the first time when I was 19. I had bought a dog from a pet land, and a week later I found out that it came from a puppy mill. Well, for me, I was terrified thinking that my dog was sick. I didn't have that aha moment where I thought for a second the parent dogs were suffering. And it wasn't until 2011 when I started Bailing Out Benji that it really hit me and I had my aha moment. So that's what we're trying to do with these maps is we're trying to see, here's Missouri.
This is Missouri.
Yep, we're trying to show people that these are the licensed and legal facilities that have hundreds of dogs. They have violations. And more importantly, they're selling to some of the biggest pet stores across the country. And so that link that you clicked on before, the Where Pet Store Puppies Come From, that's a project that we're working on where if you're here in Iowa, you can click on the Iowa link and it'll show you a list of the pet stores that we have in Iowa and exactly what puppy mills they're buying from. And so if you have any question or doubt where the pet store in your state is getting its dogs from, we are trying our hardest to make that information as public as possible.
Amazing, Mindy. You are so amazing. This is so, thank you. Would you consider doing some more shows with me? Absolutely. I would love to have you on as a guest to really raise more awareness about this, because I know that there are so many people who have not been educated, who have not. How many of you guys knew about all this? Type in the chat, yes, I knew. Just type in the chat, yes, I knew. Or no, I never heard this before. Because honestly, I didn't know until I met Mindy. I didn't know. I knew there were such thing, but I had no idea it was legal. That blew me away when I heard it was legal. How can it be legal? I don't get that.
Because they became legal after World War II. The government, the USD or the United States government, wanted to try and make money off of the farmers who were now farming puppies. And so they just started licensing them. And it's completely grown since World War II. We have seen a few strides in legislation. So like here in Iowa, we're the it depends on, what year, but we're either the second worst state in the country or we're the fourth worst state in the country. We're always, top 5 when it comes to the number of puppy mills. Bailing Out Benji has been instrumental in passing 2 retail bans here in our state. We're working on more cities, but what these retail bans are, like the one that was passed in California, they're stating that pet stores cannot sell puppies from large-scale commercial dog breeders. So our verbiage when it comes to the legislation is that you can get your dog or cat, or the pet stores can get dogs or cats from shelters or rescues. Right. And so that's helping the homeless animals in our community. So in 2019, when California finally stops the sale of dogs and cats in their pet stores, that doesn't mean you won't ever walk in and see a dog or a cat for sale. That just means they're coming from licensed and inspected rescues and shelters, because California has a huge pet overpopulation problem. Florida, California, New York, Texas, all of these are horrible states when it comes to overpopulation. Yeah. And they're also some of the worst states when it comes to the pet store problem. Amazing. So we're seeing that similarity.
Yeah. Thank you, Noah. Not one animal harmed. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We say go Mindi. Yes.
Noah is actually our Southern California volunteer team.
Yeah.
So they're wonderful.
Well, we need to hook up, Noah. Yes. We need to hook up. And also, anybody type in the chat if you have any questions. But also, Mindi, tell us what we can do. One person, what one person can do. Give us at least 3 action steps that we can take today.
So right now, you can go to our Facebook page and you can like it. Sharing on social media is crucial to getting, puppy mills stopped, because we have that power. Nobody wants to look at their dog's eyes and look at their spoiled pet and think that for a second it could have lived that life. It could have been living in a cage its entire life. So that's the first step. The second step would be, if you haven't already, you should check out the documentary Dog by Dog. It's on Netflix and it's on
Dog by Dog. Okay.
So Dog by Dog is a wonderful documentary that educates about the puppy mill industry without being graphic. And it aligns with what we're doing at Bailing Out Benji too. We don't share the graphic footage. I'm so very lucky to have been involved in Dog by Dog. They came to Iowa and filmed our protest because we were protesting when it was -14. We were out there because the dogs didn't have a choice. They're always living outside. So we protested no matter what the weather was.
You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Honestly, what commitment, what incredible inspiration you are. Are you guys feeling that inspiration? Let's give her a hand. Everyone, give lots of hearts here for Mindi. Lots of hearts. Let's give her a heart ovation, a standing heart ovation. I am so impressed and so inspired. And I love the idea that you are really giving us action steps. Thank you so much.
No problem. And I would say the third step would be to go to our website and see if we have your state information done. So that link that says puppy mills by state, if we have your map done, that means we have flyers done. Okay. So you can go to your state and you can print flyers and you can hang them up in your community, because that's how we've gotten a lot of our followers. Hang them up in vet clinics or at your coffee shop or a community board at your church, just anywhere you think people are going to stop and read it, because you don't know how many seeds you're planting for the future. And that's the most important step of this. Just educating in your community. And we've been very lucky to have volunteer teams. Like I said, Noah in Southern California. We have a team in Texas and Minnesota.
We closed a pet store here because we heard about and our community was not accepting it once we found out. And we're a small community in Southern California also. Noah, let's connect. I'd love to connect. Please reach out to me on Facebook or social media. I'm Mindful Media Mom on all social media. Carol is asking, how bad is it in New Jersey?
So New Jersey is actually one of the wonderful states for progressive animal laws. The whole state hasn't banned puppy mills yet, but what they're doing is city by city by city, they're passing those retail bans that I talked about. There's a wonderful guy, his name is Alan Branslow. He's right in New Jersey, and he is instrumental in passing these retail bans. So you can look it up online. Best Friends Animal Sanctuary has a wonderful link for all of the cities that have passed retail bans. The Humane Society of the United States also has that link. And you can see if your town in New Jersey has a ban. And if it doesn't, you can get started on it. Whether or not you have a pet store in your town, you can get your city council to act and pass a retail ban before a pet store moves in. Because, you know, pet stores are springing up all over the country because it's easy money. It's quick money. You buy a puppy for $50, you sell it for $1,000, and that's all profit to the pet store owner. So if you don't have a retail ban in your town yet, reach out to me, send me an email, and we'll talk and we can try to get something passed in your town.
And what's the best email for them to send to you?
bailingoutbenji@gmail.com.
Okay, I'll put that in the links. I'll put that in. Thank you, Carol. Reach out to your people in New Jersey and stay supported. Yay, Carol! Thank you. Yeah, we're glad you're here too. Michelle says that my rescue cat was going to be killed, so I had to save her when she was still too young, and she still tries to suckle on her chin, and she's 2 years old now.
Yep, especially kittens and puppies that are taken away from their moms too early. But with cats, they have it a lot harder because we live in a throwaway society. So you see cats on the street. You see cats as strays, you see lost cats, and our shelters and rescues are full of them. So if you can believe it, there are also cat mills. There are people that are milling kittens and selling them for insane amounts of money. And you could go on a walk and adopt your next best friend because there's a stray cat there. So for the fact that people are actually buying these kittens from pet stores and from websites is atrocious. I mean, I couldn't imagine buying a cat. But for Michelle, you know, her cat was probably abandoned. And so her young baby kitten, you know, needed her. And so Michelle, you became her mom. Thank you for saving her.
Yes, Michelle, we give you a big, big 2 thumbs up. We are so grateful for you, Michelle. Thank you for taking care of that little kitten. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mindi, for raising awareness. You're getting all kinds of claps and all kinds of hearts. And everyone is saying thank you for your help and for raising the awareness. And we are so incredibly grateful. As we close out the show, I just want to speak from a place of complete humbleness and honor to just be in your presence and to be in this opportunity of true awakening for our puppy world and for the world that really living in a world. So we've been doing a little bit of a meditation every show. So let's hold the space and a vision of a world where, place your hands on your heart, you guys, where we drop down into our heart space and we drop down into that unified field, the place where we are all one. And we know that we are all one with the animals. And we know that at the core of our being, we know this. So think about a beautiful world where animals don't need humans to be their voice, and where the animals are just loved and appreciated and valued for their amazing, magnificent self. I hold a vision of a day when all animals are loved and appreciated, and that humans realize the animals have come to teach us about unconditional love, about forgiveness, about living in the moment, and about just spreading joy. And if enough of us humans get this lesson, what kind of beautiful world will we live in? I envision that world. I hold that world. And I'm so grateful to be co-creating that world with you, Mindi. Thank you so much for all that you are doing in the world, all you are being in the world, and your beautiful, beautiful emotions that you bring in to give these animals a voice and to cherish them the way that you do.
Thank you.
You deserve the biggest hug. I want to give you a big virtual hug. I can't wait till one day I can give it to you in person. Yes. And you know, tell me a little bit more about the Dog by Dog documentary.
So Dog by Dog is really great. Like I said, it's not graphic. It really goes into 3 key points: why puppy mills are legal, why the money that goes behind the puppy mill industry. So a lot of people would be shocked to know that big agriculture companies like Tyson Foods, Monsanto, big names like that, they're the ones that are silently funding the lobbyists who are fighting legislation. It goes into that. And then the third step is what you, a normal person, like me, I'm a normal person. I'm a preschool teacher. I started this when I was a kid. What a normal person can do to make a difference. And so the film does a wonderful job of balancing a really horrible industry with the inspirational stuff that you can do. And there are a lot of little footages and clips of rescued dogs that you can see.
Wow. Awesome. Yes, one person does make a difference. Remember that, you guys. Everyone who's hearing this message, just search your heart and see, how can you be of service? How can you be of service in your corner of the world, in your community? And check out bailingoutbenji.com, because there's a complete wealth of information there that is going to help anybody who is in any state. And where can they get those flyers? Can they get them? They can just print them down from their computer?
Yep, on our website, we have all of the PDFs for the map. There's a 5x7 flyer, so a small one, and then an 8x10 flyer for every state that we have completed. You can click on it. And we have more that we're working on, but we did the worst states first.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. So guys, anyone have any questions? We're going to close out the show here. If there are any questions, feel free to type those into the chat for us. And Mindi will come back in and check out the broadcast. And
Absolutely.
If you do want to connect with her, you can go to bailingoutbenji@gmail.com, and I'll put that link in all of the broadcasts. And also go to her website, bailingoutbenji.com, and really get yourself educated and get involved. You know, I donate my books. I donate my coloring books. Every time she has an auction or she does anything that, that can help raise money for these animals, you guys can make a donation. There's probably a donation button, right?
Yep, on our website and on our Facebook page.
So you have a donation button on Facebook, you have a donation button on the website. So just search your heart, guys, and see, how can I get involved? How can I be of service to these animals? And how can I stop this injustice that's happening maybe in your own state and you don't even know it? When I found out about it, when I found out about it, I had actually found out about it. I was doing my Positively Pets radio show. I had just started going on the radio, and I think Mindi reached out to me. I think you reached out to me and said that you had the Bailing Out Benji blog, and I was like, holy cow! I said, is that real? I was like, is there really a puppy? There's really puppy mills? And you were so passionate and so excited about the fact that that you could be on the radio, and when we got together, it was like, I knew that was a divine assignment. I knew that was something so much bigger than us, the two of us.
Yeah.
That we were being brought together to really help. Yeah, so Noah says, and if you like the shirt Mindy's wearing, you can get one too. She can tell you how.
Yep, that's true. We actually have a local business. They're out of South Dakota. It's called Scratch Pad Tees, and they have a whole line of Bailing Out Benji shirts on their website. And 50% of every sale goes back to us. So we released a new shirt this weekend, and in one day we raised $400. Which is wonderful with all the puppy mill dogs that we rescue and all the vet care that we pay for. So yeah, Noah, you're right. Andrea, you're right. You can go on our website or on Scratch Pad Tees and see all of our shirts.
Yeah, if you could put that link in the broadcast also. And also you guys can go to her website, and there's a link on the website also to get the shirts. Yeah. And I'm going to get me one.
I love them. They're so soft. So soft.
Yeah.
But before we end, I don't know how much time is left. I just wanted to talk about my favorite Martin Luther King Jr. quote, since it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I have three, but I'll pick one. It's the time is always right to do what is right. And that one just resonates with me because every single day we can make choices to help people and to help animals. You can choose to, have a meatless meal and know that no animals are suffering because of what you ate. You can choose to adopt an animal or share an animal that needs a home on Facebook. You can share about puppy mills. You can talk about puppy mills. You can tell all of your Facebook friends about Bailing Out Benji and Dog by Dog. And you can really make a difference today, right now, just by sharing and just by doing what is right, because the time is always right to do what's right.
The time is right. It's always right. Beautiful. Say it again.
It's the time is always right to do what is right.
Time is always right to do what is right.
And Martin Luther King Jr. said that.
That's so beautiful. My favorite Martin Luther King quote is that, and I said this morning, and then Facebook told me I can't share his videos.
Like in a live video?
Yeah, I couldn't share his speech, I Have a Dream. I shared it on my early show, and I had to, they removed the video because of copyrights or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, my favorite quote is, having faith is taking the first step when you can't see the entire staircase. And that was how this whole Peace Week got started, because I didn't have a clue of how I was going to use social media and how I was going to be able to really bring this message to the masses in a way that really we could kind of start to create communities around awareness and around education. And now I look back, and here we are, 2018, and I look back and I say, look how far we've come. And here my little kitty's coming up here. Come up. Let's say hello. Huh? Hello. She's a rescue. This is Fergie Grace Kitty, and she was a rescue. So when we think about like what Mindi said, let's do what's right, and think about how even if we just have one step and we take that one step, the whole staircase will start to show up. And all we have to do is take that one step, and take that step in faith, knowing that you do make a huge difference. Realize that what she said to us today, there were action steps that you can take today, that you can start to see this difference in your community. Huh, Fergie? Let's get some help, huh? Let's get some help for all those. Let's get some help out there. You guys listening? Here she comes again. I am not going down. I'm staying with you.
She's like, I'm famous, Mom.
I'm going to be on Instagram soon.
Yeah, exactly.
We call her the Kitty of Kindness.
Yeah.
She is the Kitty of Kindness, and we have Kaylee, who is the Canine of Kindness.
Oh, I love that.
That's my puppy. She's my rescue that I rescued, and she's on the cover of The Secret to Puppy Love. She's the cover.
I have that on my shelf back here.
Yeah, she's the cover. She's the cover girl. So anybody have questions? The song Brave just started, so appropriate. Be brave and do what's right. Thank you, Michelle. Absolutely. Thank you. Noah says, love you, Mindi. And so beautiful, Fergie. See, Fergie, you're so beautiful. You got to get brushed, though. See, that's what Mommy got to let you get brushed. She doesn't want to be brushed. No. She doesn't want any part of that, but she's a good girl. She's a sweet, sweet rescue. She is going to be 11, and so is Kaylee. Kaylee's going to be 11. So this has been quite a journey, seeing them really helping me step into my leadership role, and being a loving leader to the animals, and knowing that I can make a difference, and knowing that everyone who's hearing this broadcast, you can make a difference too. And, just search your heart and see. Remember, we talked about this morning. This is your confirmation. This is your sign. This is you been asking, how can I get involved? How can I help? How can I be part of the solution? How do we stop all this stuff? This is how we stop it, right?
Yep,
with
get
love.
Involved, and with love. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mindi. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
for having
one
me.
more time, let people know how they can keep in touch with you.
So you can go to our Facebook page, Bailing Out Benji, or you can go to bailingoutbenji.com, and you can email us through our website too.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank
We'll
you.
be seeing you at 5 o'clock with the Book of Positivity and the Positive People Army. We're going to have some positivity coming up at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Keep shining, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.